Okay, great morning, everyone. I had somebody again yesterday complaining about the sound, that they were having trouble hearing. Well, if you're having trouble hearing, all I can say is I checked my computer. The sound is all the way up. I'm using a mic in my laptop. I don't have room here to put an external mic. So you're going to have to use earbuds or an external speaker, one of the two. I do as best I can do with what I've got at the moment. Okay, so that being said, I look like I got one eyebrow with stuff up, but I had a. That's funny. I look like I got one eyebrow this morning. No, I had a little thing was bleeding up here this morning, so that's not looking good, is it? Oh well, it is what it is. This morning, I'm going to pick one from the Angelarium, one from the Queen of the Moon Oracle, and one from the Mystical Dream Tarot. I bought these because, the artwork in these is so different. I like the coloration in them and stuff. This was really a different. Oh, that's right. It comes with a very large book to explain, and I may have to look it up because her explanations again are different than regular tarot, even though she is kind of using the Rider-Waite, but it's still different. So let's see what we have this morning. Shuffle these a little bit. Yeah, this is the back of them. It's kind of you can't see there, but it's kind of a shiny silver color. So yeah, here we go. 5 of Cups. Like I said, the imagery is very different on these. So we're going to read that because, like I said, her thing is different. Let me pull the other cards first, and we can get an idea as to where this is going. Next is fear, waxing gibbous, fear. And I will have to read the Angelarium because, again, this is a really different deck, but that's okay. Angelarium, Oracle of Emanation. So we have Phanuel, Angel of Truth. Okay, that's an interesting one. So I don't think I need to read that one. Angel of Truth, fear, but let's look up the 5 of Cups because her things are very different. Here it is. Okay, new emotions rise from the cup of love. Passionate orange light explodes from the vessel, flowing with an inner spring of knowledge. This awareness may bring happiness or sorrow. It may expose unfaithfulness and deceit, or it may reveal deep devotion and purity. In either case, it leads to heightened emotions. The fish from the depths leaps into the light while male and female reason and intuition reach up to discover and partake. Here is discovery, finding a new faith, new understanding, a new guru, rising along with the euphoria and excitement of attainment, or deep grief at the loss of what one treasured and trusted. At its best, this leads to new understanding and deepening of connections. Knowledge can be hurtful or healing. The bitter medicine of truth can impede progress as one is unbalanced by the revelation. The joy of good news naturally leads to euphoria. The message, the revelation, is a certainty, but the content is flexible. It can even be deceitful, taking one down the wrong path. At its worst, leading the seeker to invest blind trust or emotion, attachment to an insincere teacher. Innocence and inexperience can steer one in the direction of superficial understanding. Okay, so there we have it. So anyway, putting this all together, we have the Five of Cups, which is basically revelation. And we have Phanuel, the angel of truth, again, revelation, and fear. Okay. And this is one thing people run from, try to hide from. Here she is in fear, crouched down. Okay. The fear of finding out the truth, people will run and try to mask it, hide from it in so many different ways. Okay. People don't want to hear the absolute truth. They want to hear a version of their ideology, their idea about truth. Okay. Or what they're holding to as truth. Okay. And if you go to touch on that, you'll get people that get irate. Okay. But if you're going to get to liberation, if you want to get free of these demons, of these fears that you have, that you don't want to encounter, that you continue to run away from. And this is why people don't like the silence. They want to mask it with something. I need to do some activity. I need to do something to take my mind off of it. I don't want to hear what's going on in here. Let me hear music. Let me do something, anything to get away from the mental spin and the soap opera that one has created and held on to, which is creating one's suffering. Okay. But eventually, one has to be willing to drink of the cup. Okay. If you want to be free, then you have to eventually face your fears. Okay. And look for the truth. You might find that in the end, if you go back and you look where this stuff sprang from, okay, that it came out of some errant ideology placed on you by someone else. Okay. And things are, well, I can't say it's not as fearful as you think it is. There are some points in a path which, you'll be, when you just are encountering that point blank fear, and it feels like something demonic is there, Now I remember that point in the path. I was literally crouched down like this. I'm surprised my hair didn't all turn white. Because, when the fears that you have collected, they start manifesting outwardly, and it feels like it's a real thing coming. What you have to learn to do is you don't give it energy. You're not fighting it. You're not loving it. You just, like the Little Buddha. I like that movie, The Little Buddha, where Keanu Reeves was in it, because I like the end point where the Buddha, where he's becoming Buddha. He hasn't become Buddha yet, but he's in the transition, where he's sitting there and all his fears are coming against him. You have the marching armies, you have them shooting fire arrows at him. They have, all this stuff is going on, flying in his face. And he's doing the right thing. He's just sitting there. Let it come. I'm not going to give it any energy. It's illusion. It's delusion. Okay? Do your worst. Okay? And that's what you learn you have to do. You don't give it energy. And if you're not feeding it, you're not giving it energy, eventually it loses that motion, that energy to continue, and it has to dissipate. Okay? And then you're free of it once and for all. But, it's a tough point to come to that part of the path. Like I said, I had one student that came to the point of that path. And, this happened to me too, so I can't say too much. Like I said, my last lifetime, I went crazy because I started to do the practices, which again bring up those fears. Let the hungry ghost feed on your flesh. And you're thinking, oh, this is very symbolic, not a problem. And you go into it and it actually feels real. You feel these things tearing, ripping your flesh off. And I went crazy. I couldn't complete. Because if you give it life and give it energy, it becomes as if it is real. And it's a very tough thing to go through. Okay. You have to be able to come to the point to see it's an illusion. Because if you give it energy, you give it substance by giving it a sense of reality, you are in a difficult place. Okay? So not everybody makes it through the first time. I know, like I said, I didn't. And then this lifetime, I had things that became, since I couldn't face it on the etheric level, in this lifetime, it became more on the mundane level. Experiences that felt like things were tearing at my flesh and that type of a thing. Okay. But this lifetime, I was able to go through that, to see, and to have a compassion developed, a compassion for these lost souls. Okay. And that broke the chain of it, But eventually, at some point in your life, if you want to get free of things, then you have to be willing to face the fear. And it's like Christ said, fear not. Don't fear. Fear not. Okay? So again, this may be a time to look at things in your own lifetime that you haven't wanted to look at, that you've tried to put out of your mind, that you've tried to cover over, that you've run away from. Okay? Because it will continue to be there, niggling, eating at you until you say enough is enough, and you're willing to look at it, encounter it, rather than running away from it and trying to push it somewhere else, you know. People say, well, I'm going to put it in a box and lock it up. That doesn't work. I'm just going to tell you, it doesn't work. You can't compartmentalize it forever. People can be good at compartmentalizing for a time, but eventually that time comes where you can no longer do that. And again, if you don't want it to eat you alive, then you have to spend the time to encounter it, question it at the deepest level, and see where the falsehood started. You find the seed, then you pull it up by the roots, okay? You find the lie that is perpetuating itself as a shadow in truth. You know, again, this is how the dark forces work. This is how people get pulled into, you know, these conspiracy theories and these dramas and stuff. They have a little bit of truth somewhere, and then they start putting lies in. And then eventually you can't tell lies from the truth. You've bought into it. Okay? So this is such a dangerous thing that happens now. You say, well, this part is true. Well, if this part is true, then maybe that part's true too. When it's not, it's a shadow, it's illusion, it's a lie. And you buy into it because you want to believe it. Just like these Trumpites, they want to believe him. They want to believe that he is, yes, he is this big money maker. He makes the art of the deal. Look at where he's at in life. I trust that. He's here fighting for us, you know. He's angry too. We're angry too. He's going to fight for us. And the only one he's fighting for is himself. You know, they don't have the wherewithal to break free of the illusion they have created and this scenario that they have created and continues to sustain by hoping that it's true. Okay. And this becomes the dangerous thing when you exchange lies for truth and it comes upside down. You have those that think, again, the truth is a lie and the lie is the truth. Okay? That's what's happened with these ones that fight so hard for Trump and want to believe it. Okay? They don't want to believe they've been taken in. They don't want to believe they've been made a fool of. They don't want to believe, you know, that he's not what he says he is. Okay? So, again, that's something to watch for. When, you know, you encounter these things and they're saying, this is the truth, that's the truth. Well, you have to look at it, weigh it out, and find out what's real versus what's not. And if you bought into this stuff for a time, you can still get out of it. Like there was this one guy that was a white supremacist. He grew up with it and he, you know, trusted what they were saying, their dogma, their nonsense. And then, you know, that chain got broken. He actually encountered some people of color that he talked with, and he saw his whole rationalization, his whole ideology was false. He bought into something which was not true. And so he was able to get out of that. And now he tries to help other people to get out of that fear-driven drama. And that's all that it is. These white supremacists, you know, these neo-Nazi types, these ultra-right, their knee-jerk reaction in fear. Okay. So don't get carried down that road. Be willing to come to the point where you're willing to look at your life, the hard parts, the parts you wanted to run away from that you don't want to see. Okay? Because until you're willing to see it point blank, you can't change it. You can't change what you're unwilling to see. So it's better to have the harsh light of truth so you can do something about it than to continue to run away from it, mask it, do whatever you can to not see that it's there, to not encounter it. Okay? Because eventually all of us are going to have to encounter the fears that we have. Okay? And once you can encounter them fully, then you can be free of them. Okay? And it is such a better place to be free of them than to be ruled by them. Okay? So I'm going to leave this here. Much love to everyone, love and light. And again, please be safe out there. Continue to use precautions. Just because businesses are open, it doesn't mean it's safe. And unlike Trump, we do not say the virus just magically disappears when they open up the economy. Okay? And this is such a tragedy that we have somebody in office who cares more about the numbers, and this is the only platform he can run on, is making, the economy better, which he hasn't done, but he just continues to spin that he has. And now so many more people are getting jobs. Well, they're finally getting new jobs because they lost the jobs they had. They lost the businesses. So you can't claim this to be a big surge and uptake in the economy when people are trying to get back to work. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here again. Love and light to everyone. Welcome to the new subscribers. Thank you for those that want to come and spend some time with me during the day in your hectic lives. I so appreciate it. But I would appreciate it more if you would give the thumbs up, okay? We need that to have our videos seen, so they get put out there, recommended for others to view. And any of my videos that you like, if you would like to share them, please feel free to do that. I would really enjoy that, to hear that they're getting out. So anyway, love and light, have a great day, everyone.